Hi, thank you for watching this video, LHD e-invoice, right? So this is something that we will go through, right? The concept of e-invoice and what's the benefit of e-invoice, and then how do you, uh, what are the steps there, and then uh, what kind of uh, you do, uh, how is it that employees need to know about this here? So we conducted a few LHD invoice, right, online and offline as well, right? So yeah, this is completed, and I myself is a trainer since 2008, right, till now. Okay, let's take a look. LHD and e-invoice. So they are basically, as you can see, there are 6 steps. Well, when a sales or transaction is made, right? So So the LHCM needs to know that for every transaction the business has, right, they need to know uh, the sales, right. So as uh, within that 1 month itself, right, they need to know. So that's why you need to send out, needed to notify the government. So how to notify? Now that's why that the LGN provide 2 ways, right? This is one is called My Invoice Portal. The second one is the API. So API is pretty simple. It's a software, right? Now next is that so once it reach to the LHGN server, right, or cloud, right, then what they do is that they will give a chop, right, a digital chop, right, to validate that, and then it comes to the third one. So now, because in order for the sales to exist, right, there are seller and there are buyer, right? So both of them will receive a notification, and then yes, and then come, and then we'll put it will just email to the supplier and the buyers, right. So then you can share the invoice, right. Must be a QR code, right. And at this point, right, then if the buyer says that no, something wrong with the invoice, right, then they have a option to reject it within 72 hours. If if everything is okay, and then what happened is that within the 72 hours, that transaction is recorded into the LHCN's server. So yep, let's take a look at here. Now what is e-invoice, right? E-invoice is that the format, right, is actually very automatic process by as a and it's XML and JSON, and the format of e-invoice is not a PDF, so it's not like because it must be uh aut- validated by the LHDM inner revenue. So e-invoice like a PDF, right, or doc or JPEG, right? It's all this is not right because it's not validated by LHDN. Okay. So now in order for you to create to have this e-invoice, right? Now the business who sell must have a TIN, a tax identification number, and the seller, the buyer, also need to have a tax identification number, right? If you want to, for the seller, uh, you want to report that you have this revenue generated at this, and then for the buyer, you want to tell LHDN that looks right, I buy uh, these items, right, for my business use. So yeah, so which business? So you got to provide a tax identification number, right? You can, for the businesses, right, you will need to have a business registration number, and also a tax identification number. Okay, and you can get it from you can register your um, TIN, right, TIN from here, MyTax, right. Get your TIN, get your TIN here. Okay, from the MyTax things here. Now let's take a look at here. So in a short word, right, is that e-invoice is a digital representation of transaction between a supplier and a buyer. So it's going to replace the paper electronic documents, credit notes, and debit note. Yeah. Okay. Let's take a look. It has a suppliers buyers item. We will show you one example here. So why is it that people use e-invoice, right? Um, it's a way to reduce manual efforts and human errors. So it will be a better way to facilitate tax return filing, right? Okay, and so on here. There are four types of transaction, right? And then the transaction later we talk about that. So who is actually no need to concern about e-invoices? All people who not those who didn't do any businesses. Okay, so anything else they need to provide. Oh, one more. Government no need, right? Government no need. So let's just here. Yeah, if you are association, yes, you need to let LHDN know that you have this. And if you are in partnership business, yes, you need properties, yes, real estate, you need trust body, you need corporation, of course, LLB, LP, yes, you need. Um, now, if you do business with government, we just say that governments no need to have LHD, no need to have this invoice, right? Now, if you do business with government, do you do you need to have a report this uh, to have an invoice set up? Oh yes, right, because you are dealing with government. Now if you sell something to a government hospital, yes, you need to create an invoice. uh, on the other hand is that if government buys something from you, right, uh, they don't need to create a invoice. But then you you still need to request an invoice from the government. Otherwise, you can claim, right? Wait, you buy something from a you buy something. If government buys something from you, right, and then you buy some government buy something from you. Uh, oh yeah, government buy something from you. Yes, right. It's the same thing, right? You still need to. That means you sell something to the government. Yes, you. Yeah, it's still the same, right? You need. Okay. So if government sell you something, right, then government don't need to issue invoice. Yeah, that's it. Okay, let's look at here. Okay, scenario that requires this here, right? Proof of income, right? The income is issue whether sales or transaction make to recognize income of taxpayer. Okay, and then proof of expenses. So what are those days that you say that you when the tax auditor come here and they say that well, do you have these expenses, and then you give a bill that yeah, you buy this 100 ringgit of a tissue, right? So um so those day, right, if you have received, yes, right, it can be recognized, but today it's not, right? If your a box of tissue that you buy, right, as no invoice, you cannot claim as a expenses. That is the issue, right? That's the idea. Later we talk about self bill, right? So yeah, you can see here. Now if you deal with foreign supplier, it's another issue also, right? Okay. Now there are four types of e-invoice, right? Invoice. Okay, this is a document that itemize and record a transaction between a suppliers and buyers, including issuance of self-bill e-invoice. Right. So how it looks like? Well, we can see that. Let's just reconnect here for a moment. Okay. So let's say this is SQL, right? So we go here, and let's take a look at the invoice. And yeah, let's say okay, now let's say I sell to this customer Thai tea, right? And then yeah, you can see there's an itemized things item here. right? You need to have itemized. Now that, is this the invoice? No, right? So how do you do that? Right? Click on this here. Let's say submit a sandbox invoice. Oh, identification number is not valid. Let's see. Identification number is not valid. Huh? Customer. Well, let's see what happened to here. Why the sense this thing cannot, right? So there is what do they call? Identification number is not valid, right? See detail. Oh, okay, okay. Oh, because it's transfer already. Okay. So let's take a look at other item. Is it more? No. Um. All right. So basically, you have some ideas here, right? But there's no. Seems like there's no tax identification number, right? So okay, maybe I'll just create one more, a new one, right? See, there is a number. Dream runner. Is that here? Then you just create item. Okay. Oh, okay. We have something here. Okay, and then there's a unit number, quantity. So let's see if that works. I think there's a saving button there. No, there's no outstanding. Okay, okay. I think it could be safe here. Oh, okay, safe. And let's see if I can say submit this. Okay, same day, Irish number is not there, right? So anyway, you get an idea. Where is it? Like, let's go back to here. So there's the e-invoice, right? And including this here. Now, if you want to correct the errors, you want to apply a discount, and then or account for returns, right? You need to use credit notes if there's some error. The debit note is issue indicate additional charge, right? Additional charge. So you buy later we'll give you an example here. Refund note as well, right? It's a document to confirm the refund of the buyers, right? So this is given by LCN example. So Mr. Jamal make sales of 200 office chairs. Okay, the suppliers is Mr. Jamal, and then the buyer is Greens. Okay, Greens is buying something from Mr. Jamal, right? It's a 200 chair. Okay, so now Greens paid 2,000 for 200 chairs. Okay, so you can see that these chairs, right? So these are the view. I'll just say that what we say that Mr. Jamal. Oops. So you know, buy something, right? Of course you need to buy. Of course you need to have a buyer and seller. So supplier, okay, and then there are two parts, and then there's also a buyer. Okay, and so over here is Greens is the buyer, and the supplier is Mr. Jamal, is the supplier. Okay, so Greens paid. What do we bring? So we paid 2,000. Paid 2,000, right? So somebody paid 2,000, right? So you gotta pay 2,000. Pay 2,000. So when you pay 2,000, for 200 chairs, for 200 chairs, and then however 8 units received were 40. So you see when there's a when the sales was recognized, right? Now you got to tell LHDN, and then well, supplier will just send an e-invoice to that, and then buyer also receive. But the thing is that the goods, right, is not, is 40, well 40. So that's why you got to return. So when you return, you need to have a refund note. So a refund. So refund of 80 ringgit. So to document this here. So yes, in this case, you need the refund note. Okay, and we have gone through this year. Now we are in January, right? Those taxpayers between that turnovers between 25 millions to 100 millions. Yes, you need to have, right? And by 1st of July, all other taxpayer, right? So except government, right? So yeah, so basically, right, you want to have how do you know that your annual revenue is it's between that, right? So you're based on the year of assessment 2022, right? So it's not consider your, it's not thinking about your 2024 or 2023, right? Okay, so I'll just skip through it. And there are two ways to submit this, right? Like I say that you can use the My Invoice portal, right? Let's see if these things exist already. Let's take a look. My Invoice. Okay, it looks like there is, right? I think. Oh, okay. Okay, My Invoice is here already. Huh? No. Where is My Invoice? Oh, Charan is here. Charan T. Where is My Invoice? EPC bars are here also, but looks like it's not there yet, right? Where's My Invoice, right? There is no My Invoice. Okay, okay. Let's go back to here. And the other will be application program interface, right? So basically what I show you just now here, this is a program interface. You can see that you can submit here. Okay, so we're not going into details on this anymore, right? This this can select the most suitable. Okay, yeah, you have a choice, right? As a, if you are not too many, this is the difference between that. And then yeah, basically here is the example. As you can see, there are one. So so the suppliers, right, when there's a transaction happen, the supplier, what they do is that first they will issue an invoice to the IRBM, right? Issue that here, and then and so there are two of these here. Okay, either is that, so option A, option B, right? So I is using My Invoice, option B is using API, right? Such as SQL or auto count, right? So you can see here now. So let's say I go here, send here, and then immediately within 2 seconds, right? 2 seconds, yeah. What they do is that ILBM will send back a e-invoice. So, well, you can send back an e-invoice. And also send to the buyer. See, the buyer also will receive a notification that let's say just now the buying the chair, right? Both of them will receive it, right? Both of them receive the things, the notification. Now the buyers can issue, say that, hey, there's something, um something is not right, right? So they'll, you just inform the supplier. The supplier will now say that, okay, well, I get to create refund note, right, for the 40 chair. So now when you refund it, you get to send in another refund note to the IBM cloud. Okay, so finally that if all is accepted, it will store into the IBM database permanently. Okay, so to say. Okay, so you can see that this is the flow. Now they are using my invoice model, right? I will skip this. This is also same, right? And let's take a look at yeah, this is all more in details on here, right? So you can see that here, creation submissions, invoice. Okay. Okay, as you can see here, if it's not rejected or cancelled, no cancel would be allowed, right? So it's 72 hours, yeah. And then let's take a look. This is not much. So this is using my water, right? So we're not going to it. Okay, let's look at this. Error on the quantity and pricing. Oh, this one is using the, yeah, this is a more detailed one. You can see here, have I group of sense suppliers of tier. Uh, so buyer and suppliers. Okay. Let's look at here. If a company not using API, use MyBill issue for those that need to. Then for those customers not required to claim back, you will just issue consolidated invoice, invoice. Okay, so this drop out my invoice portal, right? So I have no idea of how exactly the my invoice portal looks like, right? As you can see, I go in it cannot, right? So now the consolidated invoice, right? What I see is that SQL already able to do that, right? So let's give you an example, right? So here, so all the invoice here, and then you just select. Okay. Now this very interesting thing is that, right? How is it that? Okay. So actually, we were showing that you can consolidate. There's an option called consolidated. I think it's all of here. Okay, right. I think there's a way to select items, right? So consolidated is that multiple invoice, right? When there is no, oh yeah, this cannot be, right? Because yeah, consolidated is that when the invoice is not needed, right? Yeah. Storing invoice is another thing. Let's take a look here. Reporting. Okay. These are all more technical, right? I will just skip that. Data security as well. So, continue to review that here. So, yeah. So these are some readiness, right? So basically, you buy a software to settle that, right? So, uh, yeah, just need to have connect to that, buy additionals, right? If it's a SQL, you just need to buy additional module, right? If you're using SQL, right? Yeah. So there you go, right? And then these are some of the required field for invoice. So supplier must be there, buyer name must be there, right? And then the supplier team, the supplier um, registration numbers, so BIN, right? So these are compulsory, these both, right? If you are SST, yes, you also need that. Suppliers, right? If you're tourism, yes, you need to have the ID as well. And then there's an MSIC code. So these are some of the technical things, right? um, yeah, all these items must be there, right? In order, otherwise it will not be verified. It cannot be like you see this earlier. Okay, and currency code as well. Okay, options, frequency options. So there are many of these here. So let's take an example here. Oh, this is self bill, right? So actually, what is self bill? Any idea? Uh, okay, self bill is that okay, self bill, huh? In Malaysia, self bill, self bill, e-invoice. Self bill e-invoice is it's a very type of issue by the buyer rather than seller in certain situation, allowed for certain situation. So why? Because that, let's take a look at the just now the example here, right? Mario has rented three new office to these two uh, rented this year to Bala rented office. Okay, so and Bala, Raja, and Mala, right? These three person has do not have conduct any businesses. So therefore, that in order Mari to claim that the rental as a business expenses, right? Then what happened is that then they will need to issue a self bill e-invoice on behalf of Bala and Raja Mala. Okay, okay, issue that. So right here, issue here, right? So this is here. So I wanted to just here. Okay, and then a lot of it for specific, right? So there are some other items here as well, right? So in this case, so typically the seller issue an e-invoice to the buyer. In self-bill, the buyer act as a, you see, right? Seller, in typical seller issue a e-invoice to the buyer, right? Seller issue ma. But then in self-bill, the buyer, both as a buyer and seller, right, must issue the invoice to itself. That's what I meant. Okay, so the ready self bill as well, right? So right here there's a more detailed steps already. Okay, then there's another one here. Okay, wow, okay. So this is Adiba. Um, yeah, an event planner launched. Okay, and oh, I see. I see. Okay, so you can see that Adiba is launching that appointed an event planner to launch the latest product on. Okay, fair, right? On the 1st of October, event planner, uh, it was source for power. Okay, on the 7th. Okay, so the forest, right? You can see that the event planners, right, is actually source power from forest, from the forest. So the forest, of course, will issue an e-invoice. Uh, but wait, it directed to Perniaga Adiba for the power supply. Wait, issue to directly to the Perniaga Adiba. Okay. Will make payment on behalf of Perniagan. So, but who pay? Event planner is one that pay. Will pay forest. Right. So where is that for? So it plans some forest. Now on the 8th of August, paid. Okay, on the 8th. So that means the second day, it paid the 4,000 to the forest on behalf of Penaga Atiba. Okay, Penaga Atiba. So they went issue an e-invoice to the Penagan Atiba for service rendered. So on the 12th, they will also service Penaga Atiba for the service render because you also issue that, right? So it should only include the service fees for the e-invoice to Penaga Atiba. Okay, the service fee. The 4,000 paid on behalf should not be included in the event planner. This is the key. So it should not include in the event planner. So this amount here should not be included, right? So when you issue here, it's not. Purpose regarding 4,000 on behalf of to the police, the events provide a copy of the payment proof to the Penaga Adiba. Okay. Um, yeah. So that's the e-invoice. Okay. Yeah, I guess got an idea already. Okay. Okay, here's another questions, right? Oh, okay. Don't know about it here. Okay, so let's recap on this here. I think not much recap. Let's move on to this here. What should you do as a hibiscus? Right, where is here? Hibiscus is a small retail businesses that offer a wide range of food, product, and beverage. Okay. So we have two branches, okay, Penang branches, and then 500,000 Kuala Lumpur. For a person, the number of receipt issue alongside total sales. Okay. Receipt celebrated after the end of this. Issue two separate after aggregating the total sales from each e-invoice from the beginning. Has because marked to see the sales by represents. Okay, this is about consolidation, right? Consolidate the sales. Each receipt after that enough. This is where to include all the receipt reference number up to here. So it's something like this here, as you can see here. Here, yeah, you can see here. Okay, then there's the suppliers, the buyer, right? The ID, the TIN, the tax identification number is always 10. Okay, is not that much important anymore, right? It's really the more important is that there is this QR code, right? So this is an example. Today the invoice really looks like this, right? Not far from here, and now we must third mart, right? With four branches, right? Okay. Locate as the same. Malacca has also issued has 4 branches, same rule. Okay, so these are some of the transactions. Since my each like it is considered issuable for each one in separate, considered by represent each receipt as an item. This is required to include all receipt number that make up to inclusion. In any event, if the buyer required after receiving a receipt, the buyer can request an EF from the supplier within the month. Now I see it's within the month, yeah. So buyer request as soon as after receiving. So yeah, within the month, right? So now here's the thing, right? So if you buy something on behalf of the businesses, this is where you want to take note of, right? You cannot buy yeah you got to request the e-invoice within the same month. Otherwise, let's say you has paid already 1,000 for this goods, right? For use in office, but no invoice, then it cannot claim as tax. So buyer seeks to information from buyers, okay, and then you have this here. So this is example, right? So 3 person buyers die in the restaurant, right? On wow, they did not request the invoice as such, restaurant issue receipt to them only, right? Because they didn't ask. So yeah, this is it. Now on the within 7 days after the month ends, restaurant agree all the things here on the month and then issue a consolidated and transfer to validate. Uh, it's not required to share the validated consolidated to buyers, okay, and this is proof of income, right? And buyer is not requested. Okay, so there's an example on the how the e-invoice look like. Um, you already don't need to see this anymore, right? So just never mind, just keep it for you. Okay, um, what human actually receive would be like this, right? But when you submit to the, it's like something like this, right? So okay, so this is invoice, right? Example consolidated, right, from this here. Okay, yeah, that's example. Now the second step, right? The Mutu just a request for this year on the 21st. Consider how to convert the receipt uh, on the 21st. So the restaurant can provide this year. Must receive the web portal. Okay, there's so many things here. Must receipt. You can see later on. For his personal. So and provide his personal details, right? So you got to provide a team. Should be made latest by 31st within the months of transaction. Yeah, see here. So like I say, yes, there's an example. Like, what if you say that you exceed that period, right? You can, then the company can actually deny that, right? This is in this case, right? Okay. Um, so the required consolidation is not allowed, right? So there are some guidelines that some restaurant cannot issue consolidated. Okay, so here is it. If you those let's say your Honda or Proton's, right, sales seller, then um you can't consolidate like this, right? You can't consolidate like this like not like this. This is how we show that one here, right? Um, it cannot be just considered from 1,000 to 1,003, not like this, right? So, it has to be each individual. Aviation as well as sales of flight tickets. Um, every flight, right, has to issue a individual e-invoice, right, to the to the to a buyer, right, to a buyer. Yeah. So, yep. That's it, right? In order to buy, then wait, yeah, yes, yes, correct. In order to buy an air ticket, right? Now, you need to, if it's individual, you need to provide a TIN, right? Tax identification number, which is your ID, right? Um, and if it's a company, yes, you still need to provide that. Okay, luxury use as well, right? and construction site as well, right? You need to provide that. So there are more example here, and then cool. Okay, so this is for issue here based on that process of. Okay, so let's say you go and buy from a petrol, right? So we can see the petrol. Okay, and then the buy, and then the if you request for the invoice, then yes. Then if yes, then you need to provide a personal corporate profile, and then key in that numbers. It will sync to the my invoice system. So record this here. So you need to provide a company TIN, right, in order to do that. If you don't need an invoice, right, then just provide a normal receipt without that QR code validated by IRM, IRBM, right? Okay, so here's just a few more example here. Okay, I'll just skip that. Okay, let's see. It was same thing, right? Very similar. And then you buy here. It was that's about it, right? So okay, you will explain this. Yeah, in fact you can, right? The other day I buy almonds, right, from this buy yen, right? Yen. So they already have this posted there to ask if you want, you can go through some additional process to provide the tin, right, to get it. Okay, so okay, um for the yeah, okay, have this here. Yes, okay, and by the next year itself, right, I think everyone does need, right? Otherwise you have you cannot get the business from the businesses. Yeah. Oh, okay. Okay, retailer, this is one, right? Not much. Okay, just skip that. Right, this is not much to hear buyer. Oh, wow. This is really a lot. Buyer one also, you got the details here. Okay. Oh, Jenny. Oh, this is for you will see this later on, right? When you have we'll skip that also, right? Yeah, foreigners. Okay, this is another question, right? You don't need this anymore. Okay. Telco. This is just another example for the telco industry. And then in the case that you don't need here, don't need, right? Okay, same. Okay, disbursement and investment, right? So disbursement and reimbursement. I'll talk about this in the next video. Thank you.